Hello, dear friends. So, I am really going to do my best today to sew in the screen and to make it so you can hear me. I have gotten lots of comments from the last video about how I was not in the screen and you couldn't hear me, and some of those comments were loving and kind, and I received them as wanting to be supportive. Some of them were a little harsh, but I think it's so interesting, right? We come to this free thing called YouTube, and random humans have contributed. Oh, look, there's already a needle. Random humans have contributed. Okay. I'm just doing some stitching on this hood that is a part of this sweatshirt that I've been working on. Anyways, just doing some straight stitching. Can you see the green in that one? So yeah, there's, random humans. Who am I? I'm not a professional photographer. I am not a videographer. I'm not, I am a YouTuber because I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't made a single dime off of this. I'm just doing it because I think it's fun and because I enjoy watching other people's videos, and I've had fun getting to know a few of you who have enjoyed watching my videos. And, if you can't see it and you can't hear it, then just click on a different video, right? Or someone did tell me in a sweet way, like, hey, I couldn't really hear you, which is totally helpful because the truth is I don't rewatch these videos. I just post them because I'm not doing it to be fancy or professional. I'm just doing it for fun. And to share. Sort of like, how if your closest friend comes over, you just stay in your sweatpants and you just get, pop a bag of popcorn and chit chat. And maybe if you're like, I don't know, on a first date, you're gonna like put on something that feels a little fancy and make something nice for them, right? It's sort of like I'm not doing the first date thing with my YouTube here. I'm just doing me, casual, just hanging out. And if someone wants to hang out with me, great. And if they don't, they definitely don't need to. So yeah, I've been thinking so much about this concept of should. And it's like, oh, if you make a YouTube video, you should figure out filming and lighting and sound. And I haven't figured out any of those things. And I guess I could buy a bunch of stuff and try, but I don't really feel that concerned about it. So, I am not. So, all that to say, if you would like to join me for these videos, great. If you don't, no problem. I hope you find something that you do enjoy. That's what I love about YouTube. It brings a little bit of joy with something fun. And if this feels fun to you, awesome. And if it doesn't, I hope you go find something else that does feel fun to you. And this idea about should, I feel like brings a lot of stress, right? Because it's about comparison. You can't have should unless you're comparing something. So I can't say I should have better lighting unless I've seen a different video that did have better lighting, right? I should be in the screen unless I'm comparing it to something that is. So without comparison, we don't have to have the should, and we don't have to have the stress. So, you don't have to feel bothered by me not doing it the way you think it should be done, and I don't have to worry about it either. And if you look at your life and you think, where is there stress, and what would that situation be like without the idea of what should be happening, you might find that there's no more stress left. For example, sometimes when my kid is with my ex, I get sad and think I should be able to see my kid every day, right? And that sadness is only because I think it should be different than it is, right? But if I am able to say, well, my kid is not with me, and that's fine, or not even, I don't even have to say it's good. I can just say, it is what it is. My kid's not with me. So here I am, a human. And if the only way for me to be happy is to have things go my way, how's that going to work out for me? It's funny, right? Sounds silly when we say it out loud, but the truth is, pretty much the whole world's living like that. I'm only going to let myself be relaxed and enjoy life if things go my way. And it's like responsible to be upset if things are not going your way. So instead, when I have that little twinge of, oh, I wish my kid was with me, I say, okay, well, he's not. So what can I do? Can I make a little funny video to fill up a little bit of time? Sure. Can I go on a walk? Get some fresh air? Can I try a new recipe or watch a new show or go to the library, say hi to the librarians? I love that. I love saying hi to the librarians and looking up random things at the library and finding interesting books and wandering around. And I get to take as many things as I want because you don't have to pay for them. And I even have a cheat because our library only lets you take 50 books out. But because my kid has a library card too, I can take out 50 for him and 50 for me. Now, usually we keep it just around 50 total, because 100 books is a lot to keep track of, but there has definitely been times when we've had 100 books from the library at this house. I find books to be just one of the most greatest pleasures in my whole life. I love books so much. So yeah, this Byron Katie question, if you don't know Byron Katie, I so encourage you to look her up on YouTube. She's got 1 million YouTubes, but she also has a podcast. It's really good. And she does this thing called The Work, and it's 4 questions, and you go through these questions and look at situations, and you ask, other than what I'm thinking and believing, am I okay? And you wouldn't believe it, friends. Pretty much all of the time, other than what I'm thinking and believing, I'm totally okay. It's astonishing. Truly astonishing. So, there's lots of things that I can do that are nice and enjoyable, even if nobody is doing what I want them to do. And even if nothing is going the way I want it to go. Right? It's wild. letting go of that should frees us up to just have such a pleasant. See, here's the funny thing is I can't really see from this angle. Maybe if I lowered this a little bit, I can't really see if I'm in the frame because of the glare of the window. I still can't really see it. I mean, that makes it so I can see, but I think having it tilted a little bit better. But again, not a videographer. And you know, when you look at the top, it's like reverse. And also, friends, I have a visual impairment from my brain injury. So, not the best recipe for being the perfect videographer. But I don't think it really matters what I'm sewing, because I would understand that it might matter a little bit if you can hear me or not. Although I don't think that really matters too much either, because I think some of you might not want to hear me ramble and just turn it down and just have it like background company noise. You know how sometimes you just want something in the background so you feel less alone. Sometimes I do that, just turn on a little. I like the vlogs, video, like a video journal that people do, you know, and they just tell you what's happening in their day, and they show you what they're doing as they. I like the ones that are just pretty normal, like show you eating breakfast, and then it shows you like doing a little bit of work, and then doing the laundry, whatever. As it just feels like someone else is, you know, in the background doing something as you're doing something. So that's sort of how I envision you all watching me do these, because I'm not teaching you how to sew anything. And I'm not really, I mean, I think what I'm saying is meaningful, but it's not like important. You need to take notes and hear it really well. So I just envision you all having me on kind of in the background, or that you're kind of sewing or fiddling with something crafty, and we're just having some crafty time together. You know, those people who make those things called mukbang, they eat their meal and chit chat. And when I first got divorced and my kid would be with my ex, I was not able to eat. I had never, I was just so codependent that I felt like I could only eat if I had like was eating with someone else, or I had made them food and that meant I could eat or something, or they were eating, then I could eat. But I couldn't figure out how to eat by myself. It was so painful, and honestly, for the first couple of years, I didn't even get hungry. So I would go like a whole day without eating, and then I would feel really bad, obviously. So I stumbled upon this YouTuber named Cheap Lazy Vegan, and I just love Rose. She's very sweet. I had to sort of take a break because she was talking about weight loss, which I really don't want to be a part of. I really care that people eat what feels good to their bodies, and that people know that being fat is not dangerous, or there's nothing wrong with it, and that, you know, the diet culture is actually more dangerous than being fat, and that a lot of ideas about thin being better and being healthier have their roots in white supremacy anyways, and so it's just not a value that I have, and I don't want to be reinforcing it or filling my mind with messages of it. So I kind of stopped watching her, but for a while she wasn't into that, and she was just eating and chatting, and she also does cooking stuff, and she's Korean, and I love Korean food. So I would put on her videos, and then I would be able to make myself eat because I felt like I was eating with someone else. And I'll tell you, it was such a positive force in my life. And I think, you know, there's a lot of people who live alone, and who spend a lot of time alone. And so it's just nice to have, that's why I like watching sewing videos, because I feel like I'm hanging out with that person and sewing with them. And I don't need to be, really paying attention, but it's just nice to have someone else doing it. We are social animals. I like watching the painting ones too, all sorts of arts and crafts. Cooking ones, definitely. So, all of that to say, my friends, here I am in my wonky filming, my wonky sound, and I want it to be an offering to others, obviously, but a lot of it is I'm doing this for myself, because it's a nice hobby. Okay, so what did I actually want to talk about today? I think I've mentioned to you all I was on this podcast, which I can't share because it was this person's podcast is through this thing called Patreon. So you have to pay to actually listen to the stuff. I could share her Patreon if someone was really interested, but anyways, point being, it's on this podcast talking about this thing that I'm trained in called the SSP. It's a listening program that helps people to calm their nervous system and be able to engage with life with less of the chronic anxiety that a lot of us have. And then this was the thing I've been trained in, and I've been trying to figure out how to have a private practice doing it for years, and I couldn't figure out marketing or what have you. And 50 people reached out to me, and it's so awesome. And so now I even have a waiting list, and I have a totally full schedule because I had the summer off from work, because usually I work at schools. And so I have a totally full schedule, and I think I'm not going to go back to my school in the fall, which is great for me because I do not like it. I love the kids, but I just find schools to be really difficult places to be in terms of the adults. And so yeah, it's wild. So I've been doing that. I've been so busy. I've been doing less sewing, but my therapist really reminded me that the sewing makes me so happy. So to remember to keep doing it. So I've been doing that, and I've been training in this coaching program and doing practice coaching hours, and I've been loving that. Seriously, I love it so much. And so I'm really happy, and I think maybe I hope that I can do this SSP, but that also I can do coaching using the work of Byron Katie, because I think it's just pretty miraculous. So that is what I have been very busy with. And this is what I really wanted to tell you. This morning I rewatched part of this awesome movie that I really recommend. It is available for free on YouTube, the whole movie. It's called The Shift, and it's by Wayne Dyer. And oh my gosh, it is just so awesome. And here's the main concept that I wanted to share, is that he shares about how, we're born and we are these perfect creatures, and we've been 9 months with nobody pushing us, okay, now you need to grow an eyeball. Now you need to, nobody's been pushing us. Nobody's been coaching us, training us how to grow for this whole 9 months that we're in our parents' belly. And our parent isn't even doing any of that. Then we get out, and it's like God or nature or spirit, whatever you want to call it, has done this amazing thing for 9 months, right? With nobody doing any directing. And then we get born, and we're like, okay, God, we got it. We'll take over from here. Thanks, but we're good, right? And we take this perfect creature and we start directing it from a human perspective and thinking the only way you survive is if I'm going to tell you what to do, and you got to become something that you're not now. You got to be striving, work, get more, be more, do more, right? And it's like, I love it. He calls it edging God out. Ego. Edging God out. Isn't that great? Because here was this amazing creative force that made this whole human being with nobody being having a say, and nobody directing it, nobody pushing it. Nobody wakes up a pregnant person in the morning and goes, okay, you got to get up early today because you've got to grow some fingernails. So I want you to sit there and I want you to try really hard and I want you to make sure to do it right, and you're going to grow the best fingernails. No, it just happens. And so he really proposes that if we have all of the guidance and creative force and wisdom necessary to grow a whole human being without even trying, then why wouldn't all of that wisdom and creative energy and just purpose and meaning be packed into us for a whole life? Why do we think we're taking over and that we're going to somehow, by doing more, being more, having more, we're going to figure out, we're going to prove why we're here or why we're valuable? Isn't that wild? So, let's see, let me check the notes I wrote real quick. Oh, yeah. So if we think, we get born and then we adopt through training, our parents train us, and our culture trains us to think who we are is what we have, then of course, when we lose any part of what we have, let me check my watch because I have an appointment at 11:30. Okay. If we lose any part of what we have, it doesn't just feel like losing a thing, it feels like losing a part of ourselves, because we've so decided that we identify with what we have. Then when what we have is lost or taken away, then our actual identity is lost or taken away. So of course it feels like we're dying when we, someone breaks up with us, or when a child rejects us, or when someone dies, or when we lose our house or our job, right? Oh my gosh. And all of us just going around feeling so like, of course we feel like we're in constant danger because we know how easy it is. Am I in the camera? We know how easy it is to lose stuff. We know it's guaranteed that we're going to lose stuff. Even if you have the situation where, okay, let's say you have a marriage, even if you're one of those people that gets to have the marriage for 70 years, okay? Someone's going to die. We know that. Someone's going to die. And the other person is going to have that loss. Even if you have a job for always, right? At some point, hold on my neck. I think the reason why I end up not being at the camera is because it's like I have to kind of lean forward and stress my neck out to try to be in that angle. So I need to find a different angle for the camera so that I don't have to do that. But that sort of spatial organization is confusing to me. Anyhow, how nice to think I could lose everything, and if that thing, those things were not who I am, then it's okay. And then how do we find our meaning or purpose? What if life is enough purpose, you know? What does it seem like our purpose is when we're growing in our parents' belly? Seems like it's life, right? And I think life, has in it um, beauty, joy. How can we bring beauty and joy, you know, to the world, to people? Becomes pretty simple, you know? I think that's also another thing is that I think we just make it too complicated. I don't think life has to be fireworks, you know? I think life could just be nice, take care of the people around you, try to make water your little patch of garden, you know? Maybe it doesn't have to be quite so spectacular. And if we're not as worried about making it so spectacular, maybe we could enjoy, the little things. So that's my sharing for today. Look it up. Wayne Dyer, The Shift, it's called, the movie. It's really sweet. And they do a great job of just showing how you can apply these thoughts to just regular, everyday life situations. He's an interesting guy, Wayne Dyer. 8 kids he had. Isn't that fascinating? He recently passed away a few years ago. But he wrote a lot of books. And his kids now, I think, are a couple of them like spiritual teachers as well. So I got a full day of clients with this safe and sound protocol. And I'm real grateful for it. And such the sweetest people, just the sweetest people. And I'm so inspired by their, commitment to their own healing and growth. Because I really do believe that when any one of us takes the time to think about and get off this hamster wheel of more, and judge, and criticize, that we contribute to everyone being able to heal a little bit more. It's like a ripple effect. They say at the end of 12-step meetings, let there be no gossip or criticism. Be among you, and let the peace, what is it? Let the peace of, maybe the peace of the program or something like that, grow in you one day at a time, something like that. But I really like the let there be no gossip or criticism. I think that's something that we really, all of us, could benefit from. Because the gossip and the criticism, I think, does bring a lot of suffering. And the complaining, because that's criticism. Was there something else I was going to say about the 12-step group or teachings? Gossip or the criticism. Oh, how how amazing it was when I figured out finally that the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the wisdom to change the things again. No, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, accept the things I cannot change. That's people, places, and things. So, we cannot change other people. We cannot change, you know, the circumstances often. And I always thought, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. I thought that meant there was a whole bunch of things I could change, and it was just a matter of me having courage. But it's like, no, the courage is to look at your own self and say, because that is the scariest thing, to say, okay, what's my part in this, And I've been complaining about the same job for 20 years and haven't looked for another one, okay? I might want to look at that. Have I been complaining about my partner for 20 years and haven't, gone to counseling or decided to end the relationship? Okay, maybe that's something I need to look at, This hood. Cute, right? Look at that. Turtles. I love those turtles. This is all from Swanson's Fabrics, the donated place. They're all just things that would have got thrown away. So, the courage to change the things I can is, yourself and your own situations. And then, you see this? Can you see that? I don't know if you can. It says, I love you here on the side. And then the wisdom to know the difference is, now I get why they say it takes wisdom to know the difference, because it wasn't for 5 years of me being, it wasn't that. I learned, I figured it out finally about the second or third year of being in 12-step programs, that people, places, and things, other people, places, and things were things I was not gonna change. This is on the sleeve. BLM for Black Lives Matter. It's coming along, don't you think? First, it was just one plain gray sweatshirt. And then, what else have I done? I've done a little blanket stitch along the front. What's this? Maybe just an edge that needs to be trimmed. So yeah, that wisdom to know the difference is letting go of trying to fix other people and saying, okay, I've got this life and in these circumstances. What do they say? Life on life's terms. What am I going to do with it? For example, I had, this divorce and no money and this little 3-year-old and me and no job. And so I got a lot of help, received a lot of help, I think this is almost done, you all. What else oh, yes. This sleeve. This sleeve, I have this one heart, but I want to put a few more hearts on. But I'm not going to start that right now. I'm just going to wrap up with you all. But yeah, I started, it took me 8 years, but I took classes and I took help and I learned how to budget and I got several jobs and bit by bit by bit by bit, and look at now, I'm just so happy. And I'm not a wealthy person, but I still take help when I need it, but I'm able to do a little bit more on my own. And when I was blaming everybody else, I wasn't making very much progress. All right, my sweet friends, that is it for me for today. I love you all so much, and I just believe that there is just so much capacity, there's so much, what's the word, possibility. I painted a painting. Maybe I'll show you that painting to close with. So much possibility in our lives. And I just love that. It's just so freeing. This is my painting canvas I have in my room. Possibility. There is so much possibility, and I really believe in that for all of us. No matter what your circumstance is, it is possible for you to find peace in any storm. Okay, I love you so much. Talk to you soon.